Hey everybody, in this video we're going to go over how to make a little journal using one piece of paper. So this is actually an idea that I learned back in grade school, and you can start out with any size paper. So you could pull something from scrapbook paper, the Dina Wickly Collage Collective, loose painted papers you have, gel prints, no matter what, this will work. So in this example, I'm starting out with a piece of white paper that measures 8 inches by 10 inches, and I'm going to fold it lengthways, and this is also referred to as a hot dog fold. So I'm folding it in half and making sure I have a really good crease, and I'm actually going to use my bone folder to make sure that is a really solid crease there. And now you can see I have one fold down the center of my paper. Next, I'm going to go and fold it the other way. So I'm going to once again fold in half and then use my bone folder to make sure I have a really good crease. So at this point you should have two folds, one going the long way and one going on the widest part of the paper, as you can see here. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold it back again in half and then fold these papers back on themselves, going from the edge back to the center fold, and crease it again. And then I'm going to flip over the paper and do the exact same thing, taking the edge of paper and folding it towards the center. At this point, you should, when you lift up your paper should go in a sort of W or M configuration, as you'll see here in a second on the screen. In this case, the way I lifted it, it makes a W. And this is how your paper should look if you folded it correctly. Now you're going to unfold everything and lay it out flat on your table. So I took a second to draw in all the folds with a pencil so that it would help visualize for this next step. So once again, we're going to fold the paper in half, the hamburger fold style. And then we're going to grab our scissors, and starting from the fold, we're going to cut on that line towards the center of the paper and stop halfway. And where you'll notice stop is where you actually get to that one fold. So you can see here I'm just cutting halfway up the paper to where the fold is, and that's my line to say stop, don't cut past this. And you can see here now I'm just showing that I cut the paper, and now I'm going to unfold it again. And there should be a slice in the paper right down the center, just like this. Now I'm going to fold my paper lengthwise. This is going back to the hot dog fold. And you should have this diamond pattern, as you can see here on the screen. So what I'm going to do with having my left hand on the left side and my right hand on the right side, I'm simply going to push the two sides together and it will create this plus sign pattern. So just pushing those two towards the center, and then it'll make this plus sign. And then I'm going to take the top page and fold it to the left, take the bottom page and fold it to the left, and now it should be just like this, one simple line. So I'm going to do that again. From the plus sign, I'm going to fold the top to the left, fold the bottom to the left. So there should be three pieces on the left side, one on the right, and then I'm just going to simply fold the right one down to make a book. And you can see here it's a flat book. Now, because of the way we folded this, they might not want to lay 100% flat, so use some pressure, use some strength, use your bone folder and flatten that out, show it who's boss. And now you have a nice little 4-page book that you can decorate or do whatever you want to do with it. Use it as a gift card, greeting card, whatever. So I'm just going to run through this book making process one more time, this time using a piece of paper from the Dina Wickly Media Collage Collective. So I'm folding my paper in half lengthwise, and this is called a hot dog fold, and using my bone folder to just make sure I have really crisp and creased folds in my book. So then I'm going to unfold that and go folding it the other way, which is called the hamburger fold. And hot dog and hamburger folds are traditional terms in bookbinding and bookmaking. And the reason why they do that is because when it's the long fold, lengthwise fold, it is narrow like a hot dog bun. And when you do the other way, it's more round and squared like a hamburger bun. So anyway, now we're in the hamburger fold, and I'm taking the edges and folding them back towards the center. And then using my bone folder to once again make a really nice crease. And then I'm going to flip it over and do that same thing, folding the edge towards the center fold. And when I'm done, it will be in that W or M shaped pattern. as you can see here. There's a W. Okay, so now we're going to go back to just the traditional hamburger fold, which is just one time folded in half. And then cutting from the center fold inward to the middle folded line, I'm just going to make one simple cut using my scissors. Stopping when I get to that fold line in the middle of the paper. You can see the cut there, and then I'm going to fold it lengthwise again, pushing the two pieces left or right towards the center to create a plus sign, and then folding those pages inward to create a book. Now, the one thing I want to note, if you're using printed paper, whatever side you put towards the outside is the side that actually is going to be seen for your pages. So if you fold it this way, all of your pages will be this blue and purple printed paper. And if you fold it the other way, obviously the other design will be seen. So just for a visual example here, I'm folding it into the book. You can see all the pages are this purple and teal color. And if I unfold it all the way back to the beginning, making sure my paper is flat, and then doing these same assembly steps again, you can see that my book will have this bright white and hot pink lime green side. So just if you're using printed papers, you can determine what side you will be seen in your book by how you fold it together. So just a quick thing to think about when you're assembling your book. So now we've folded the piece of paper and made this cute little book, and now we can go ahead and fix the pages. You could, of course, use it just like this, but if you don't want these pages to open like this, you need to use some washi tape. And by doing this, you'll also create a pocket that you can later stick things into this pocket. So I'm just using a piece of regular washi tape in this really cute design and putting it on one side of the page, making sure about half of it is on the sticking down and half of it is suspended beyond the page, as you can see here. And then I'm folding it back onto the other side of the page to make those two pieces of paper stick together. And I have now created a pocket. And you can put anything in here. You can put tags, little pieces of paper, you can do extra designs. There's lots of things you can do here to customize this and make it really personal. And if you didn't want to use pattern tape, you also can use just a plain media tape from the Dean Wakley Media line that would blend into your papers if you were using a printed paper or scrapbook paper. Or you can use a pattern and add another pop of color into your book. That's totally up to you. So in this configuration, you can see that two of the pages are open-ended, and it won't create a pocket. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that on two of the pages. And then the alternate two pages have the opening on the bottom of the book. As you'll see here in a second, that there is actually a hole in the bottom and the top of the page. So if you're wanting to create a pocket again, you just have to seal up the bottom of that page, and you'll be able to stick items in those pages as well, those pockets. Of course, too, if you didn't want to do this and you just wanted to create on the pages, you could do that as well. Or you could even get a scissors and you could cut those pages apart, and then you would have more pages instead of just double the thickness. So there's a few different ways that you can customize this. So here's both of the books that I created, and these were made out of 8x10 sheets of paper. But you might be asking yourself, what if I want to make a really large book using this concept? The answer is, of course you can. So here's one that I made folding a piece of paper that measured 18 by 24 inches. And you can see it'll 100% work, and you'll have a large journal. And following that same idea, what if you wanted a really small little book? And the answer is, of course, you can do that as well. So this was made out of a half a piece of dictionary paper measuring 5 by 8.5. And now I have a smaller book. So depending what size of paper will determine the end result in the size of your book. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to see more of our videos in the future, don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a wonderful day.